Hi everyone, welcome to On Coffee Maker's marketing sharing session. So for today's sharing session, we're going to talk about Instagram. And of course, for some of you that know me, I'm Ebenezer Heng. So we will be talking about Instagram. And the reason we are talking about Instagram is because of the complexity of the information out there. There are a lot of info. There's almost encyclopedia info teaching you and instructing you how to run your Instagram account. These are all great. And of course, we ran a hypothesis. We started an account from zero, and we have looked at some of the info. Some works, some just does not cut it. And of course, from there we distilled into just 3 points, 3 things to take note of, and how you can actually grow your Instagram account from zero, because we started with zero to a couple of thousands, and right now we are looking on track in less than 6 months to hit 10,000. Nothing to shout about. We are not like those advertisement that promise you like in a few days you get hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands. These are true methods, real guys, real followers, real engagement that engages your accounts on a day-to-day basis. You can actually go into our account and take a look. And there are no secret recipe. A lot of work, a lot of research, a lot of testing, which we will come into it and share with you shortly. So there are just a few things that you need to take note of. One, the very first thing is, of course, your target audience. If you're in F&B and of course you're selling coffee, this is absolutely for you because we have done the groundwork. Your audience are all there, and you can actually run an Instagram account and have some impact and some traffic. However, if you are coming in from another industry, the very first thing is you need to test if even your audience are there. Are they searching online? For example, if you have a lot of core group of seniors, they might not be using Instagram, isn't that right? So let's come to the 3 C's of which I want to keep in focus. So you hear that a lot, content. It's almost like your retail location, isn't that right? It's really important. And there are a lot of theories, a lot of strategies, a lot of tactics that were given outside. We're just going to distill everything to the simplest component and share with you upcoming. And of course, then there's a community portion. If you got content, no one is reading it, not much point. And that's one key reason you should never, ever go outside and buy followers. It should be real. They should actually be following you because of your content, because they like what they read. And that's the reason you will get your engagement. That's the reason you will get the share. And of course, that's also the reason you will get your community to build up. Okay, that's very, very important. So your community is one key thing we want to touch on shortly. And of course, all this is useless if you do not have a call to action that's strong enough. That means you're not driving traffic to your website. Now, guys, remember this. The reason we want to build an Instagram community is to drive traffic to our destination. It could be to download your apps. It could be to buy some things from an e-commerce store. And that is the only metrics that you need to measure. You can have a lot engagement, and your followings, your followers are just growing by leaps and bounds. But if your click-through are very, very low and no one is clicking to your website, these are all vanity metrics. Vanity has to matter. It doesn't add value to you. So take note of that. These are just few key things in this very, very short session I'm going through with you on this particular experiment that we have done. So what experiment is that? So I mean, we have seen a lot of influencer. So for the longest time, when we want to run campaigns with our clients, we will be using marketing influencer, a lot of Instagram, even micro influencers. They will come in, they will charge a certain fees, and then we will get some engagement. So now the question is, can we also grow an account to be sort of a micro influencer? So we don't have Instagram presence. We don't have, we're not going to leverage on all those influencers. Let's just depend on content. So many things was said about content. So can we actually leverage on it, use it correctly, and grow our account? And that's what the whole experiment is about. So when did we start? So as you can see from the screenshot, we actually start on around Valentine's Day. So we were having about 100 over folks following us on our account. I want you to also take note of the content. So just February, how many posts we were posting. So that is in February. So we started posting some stuff. And we know after a month that, hey, it should work. Really, contents matter, and contents can get you the reach, engagement. And when you engage people, it goes back to the same old thing, the KLT thing. First people know about your account, the K, and then they like it. And then once they trust it, you're the source of the particular genre of content that you give. Now, of course, you need to be in a niche. You can't say that you'll be posting everything unless you're in a lifestyle. So one very interesting thing is we're not posting a lot of beautiful pictures and so on. We're posting coffee, brown most of the time, and we get certain engagement. But because we're in a niche and the people following, engaging us likes coffee, they like some of the things that we put out. So in 1 month, this is our growth. So what I'm sharing with you is also to put your expectation, manage your expectation in what we are going to go through with you. It's not going to be super. If you're talking about 2 weeks, if you want to have a 10,000 account, I'm sure there are ways. You can do advertisement and all, but in this particular example that we are doing, it takes a while. So that's our tracking. Okay, so this is 1 month. And right now, as I'm talking, we're in month 4. So February right now is in June. So we're tracking about 7,000. As you can see, it grows and it compounded a little bit. So 1 month, 1,000, and then it just compound and it speed up a little bit. So we're tracking probably plus minus about 50 plus followers a day. And our currency, our bullets that we use to get, if you look at the post down here, it's basically using posts. And we're putting content. And if you go to an Instagram account, we're putting a lot more content than folks will usually do. So that is in a way the bullets that we are using. Okay, so that was the test. So overall, we grew, like as I mentioned, 50. So we tracked. The last time I did a screenshot was 7,000. So if you go in right now, depending on when you're coming in, you could be tracking 8,000 and so on. You could be tracking 7,000 plus, depending on the time and day that you're coming in. So in all the following pages, we're just going to show you some of the things that we have done, and I will try to flag out some of the mistakes or some of the myths that we want to dispel as well. So let's go in. So the 3 key success factors, as I just covered it, the content. So frequency is good. And I'm sure you read that before. How frequent? Or if you go to an account, we're posting a few posts a day. And we find reasonable success. And also the reason is, if I have one post that just attracts like maybe a few dozens likes, it's okay. I will have reached out to X number of accounts. So there's no detrimental factor. So I do have a point in time where we have people unfollowing us. So its cause of concern is it because we post too often and that's why people are dropping out? Or it turns out it's not true. I reduced the number of posts, but yet the following and unfollowing remains constant. Okay, then the type of content is very, very important. So what type of content you post? Now, I can go into the old school type of saying that you should not post corporate marketing or promotion related posts. It doesn't work unless you're going to pay money. But I'm just going to go a little deeper. Do you know what your target audience are looking for? Who are your audience persona? And if you are certain of your audience persona, and then you go into the Instagram, it's all there. You go into the explore function and you look at the post. Like for example, if you see that some of your audience persona, you are certain that they will be following these few accounts, then you will be going to this few accounts and see the engagement of the post that, for example, ABC Instagram page is doing, XYZ Instagram page is doing, for instance. This is about coffee. For instance, if I look at Starbucks as a competitor, I will go to Starbucks and see what the posts they post, what works, what do not work. And of course, on average, I will probably say you should follow about 20-30 pages and to have a good view of what people like, what people do not like, your audience, right? That's the type of post you want to post. And of course, everything is about testing. You want to test and you want to make sure that, okay, this post doesn't work. You just cast it away. This post works and you want to do a little bit more posts on that nature. Now, when it comes to community, we want to look at the reach. first thing you need to go through is like your target audience. Are they searching online? If they're searching, what topics are they searching? For example, if in coffee, they are searching for single serve, they're searching for roast and ground. These are the particulars that I want to go in. And I want to go into Instagram, I want to search around whether does it ties in. And I want to look at machines, I want to look at latte art, whether what are they searching for. Now, that's one reason why I would greatly discourage you even spending $1 just to buy followers is because they don't come with engagement. Your followers will reward you with the engagement if you give them the right content that they are looking for. This is what we call the job to be done. It's content consumption. You go to Instagram, what do you want to do? You want to, in a way, be entertained, be thrilled, be excited by some of the contents that some of the accounts that you're following. And that's very important. So if you are not giving that to your audience, then they have no reasons to come back. And after a while, your accounts won't reach them. And if you give them, they will share and you will reach more people. And lastly, all you want the community is actually a call to action. So your call to action is your main metrics that you want to measure, right? The rest, may I say, are just vanity metrics. They makes you look good and makes you feel good. But if nobody clicks to your website, the rest of it doesn't really matter. So take note of that. That is the only true metrics that you want to measure. So let's look at how we build content. So like I said, frequency is key. If you can afford it, do at least once a day. And if you really, really want to dive in and want to hyper drive your growth, then do a few times a day. However, take note that once you do a few times, if you scale down, it will affect your growth. As mentioned earlier, when I scale down, just because like some people are unfollowing, my reach on this comes down drastically. Okay, so if you go more posts, that's great. But if you go less posts, it will impact your reach and engagement. The only thing that's working against you for frequency is this: do you have the time? Do you have the time to post so frequently? So some of the tools that we make use of and we find really, really good, you can find in the link below. We use Tailwind. We use Tailwind a lot. Tailwind, of course, a lot of us are familiar with using it for Instagram managing. But in our case, we use it for Pinterest managing. But in our case, we use it for Instagram. This is one of the new features that just came out, I think, late last year, early this year. So we use it, and it's great because it allows us to schedule, it allows us to test, and you have quite a lot of functions like suggesting hashtag, grouping the hashtag, which hashtag we use, and so on. So the type of content I mentioned. So you go and follow a few key accounts. You look at the posts that they get a lot, and they're very viral. You segregate, you have a spreadsheet, and then you test out accordingly. So if you're posting a few posts a day, of course you have the luxury of testing a few posts. For instance, for us, you can see that we actually post an image, we actually post some videos, and in the videos that filter out genre. It's very, very interesting. Sometimes illustration can work very, very well. And of course, during certain period, we create, and then other period, we curate. We actually get the permission from other people and we share their posts. I mean, that's great because when you tag some of them and in a group, you get additional exposure. They will be happy and they will also be sharing your posts. So these are the ways which we find content. To create, you probably need a team very, very dedicated to keep creating a lot of content. So creating and curating allows you the flexibility of growing and scaling up without worrying too much about a lot of effort on content creation. So that's how we did it. And you can look at some of the content which I flag out. You will imagine that this copy page, latte art what works the best. That's not necessarily true. Sometimes people just want to observe coffee brewing and just overspilling and things like that. So you need to ascertain. You might have a little pocket of audience that are looking for different things. So you need to cater to them. And that's why I say, in a day, if you have a few posts, vary your posts. That would be great. That's what we have learned. Now, as I mentioned, the very first thing is you want to know what are people looking for. And usually we do that with tools such as SEMrush. We go in and we find what people are searching for with regards to coffee machines and all this. Because the habit tends to transit over to Instagram, if, for example, they are really looking for coffee machines, they might be very interested and they like to click on coffee machines on Instagram. For instance, if they are already like very into latte art, there are a lot of people searching for latte art, and they are more likely to click and on items that are about latte art as well. So what we have is, of course, frequency. We have engagement, frequency that drives the engagement, and as you can see, interesting posts will only be flagged up if you put and test enough posts. So everything is about testing. If your post does not work, it's okay. So you just cast it aside, and then you put on more posts and then you test it out. Like I said, there's no secret sauce. To ascertain which community, which audience persona, you use terms like SEMrush. Of course, you can use Google Keyword too. And for engagement, we use Tailwind to schedule and to test, and we post a lot more frequently. And of course, you have things like Linktree, and if you use Tailwind, they have this thing called a Smart Bio. It allows you to put in a lot of links. Now, there are a few best practices that is great. It might sound a bit pushy, but it's really great that you tell them that, hey, we really have a free class at our bio, check it out, and then you list your free class. We have some free products. Of course, right now you can actually integrate your shop together with your Instagram, but of course, your bio, you can put a lot more things, not just one link. And we thought this Tailwind Smart Bio is really, really good. Of course, a lot of testing. If I want 100 clicks for that day, how do I get it? And how many clicks can my post deliver for me? So if my post can deliver, my objective, my target is 10, and it does that, I'm not really worried about the reach and the engagement. Sometimes the reach and the engagement can be quite low. If you look at my posts, in the case, but the engagement can be very, the click-through rate can be very, very high. It depends on the call to action on your post as well. So once again, a lot of testing. Now, I just summarize everything that I said. It's a very short session. It's important to post frequently. So you do not need to create all your posts. I know people start to worrying, there's a lot of posts. You can curate, and curate is good because you work with other people. You shout out. Be upfront about it. These are their posts. You put their credential and you drive the traffic to their site. It's okay, and they'll be happy to like, comment, and share your post as well. And there's only one true metrics, which is call to action. That measures everything. That should be the first thing you measure. If a post, a lot of likes, a lot of comments, but no call to action, no click through, it's not such a successful post. Think about it. You do all this to drive traffic to your website. Now, above all this, research is the most important. So you want to know, as I mentioned, your target audience. In the first place, they are on IG, and they're searching for certain things that you can actually provide and push the content to them. And you test. After that, you test. You put out this post, it doesn't work. You put out a few posts. So you need to have a few posts. Now, do not discount immediately if a post don't work. It might work at another time. So you just have one day. So again, you will only have the flexibility of testing it if you have multiple posts across a week. And that's what we did. So just want to thank you for this time. It's a very short session. I just thought I would just sum it out to these few pointers. Anyone listening in, these are the few key things that it works for us. Check out this deck. We will always update it, and we hope when you come in that time, we are tracking at 10,000 and more, and there'll be a lot of other things that we can share with you. So if you like this, just drop us a message on some aspects you want to expand on, and perhaps I will also do a further video on that as well. Thank you very much, and just wishing you a good day.